All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, Stu. Good to see you.
Hey, I'm here and
Absolutely.
excited.
It's a
Good day.
it's a nice cold Wednesday.
Woo.
You notice, Stu, that things are getting a little crowded here on the bookshelf.
I see that.
I'm gonna have to I'm trying to double up on these side things, but I'm gonna have to figure out a rotational system. Perhaps I can start selling sponsorship blocks instead of people's book being there. I'll get your book on over this way, but if you want like this spot, it's $100 a month. Hell, I could do okay. You never know.
Yeah, I like it.
Um, so how much you gonna pay me to keep your book up here, Stu?
I
Nah, I'm just playing.
like
Um,
it though. It's really cool, especially when I ask you, "Hey, what are all those books behind you?"
oh, Stu, well, in case you didn't know, these are all my students who have gone through our book writing, our WriteYourBook.ai program, who have successfully published their books, many of whom have gone on to become bestsellers.
Love it.
So, so interestingly enough, though, what do you think is the number one way to cash in with your book?
Cash in.
Yeah.
Well, good question because I try to use two methods. The
Okay.
first, well, I shouldn't say methods. Two goals to cashing in. First one is I really try to sell a lot of books.
Hell yeah.
I like doing that, right? And
Sure.
it's kind of like the easier process, kind
Sure.
of. I mean, it's you just got to be consistent
Yeah, you
with
got to
getting the
go
word out.
sell the
Yeah,
books.
you got to sell the books.
Right.
The other one is use that book to sell higher priced products and services.
Right.
Coaching, a webinar,
100%.
right? Give it away for free, even, right? I give
Right.
away a book for free if somebody's going to pay me $400 to do
Oh
some
yeah.
coaching.
Hell, I give them two books.
Hmm.
Um, for that. But you're absolutely right. I mean, if we think about the value ladder of down here, we got the book. We want to get them into our ecosystem, and the typical thing is we sell them a course, we sell them some kind of coaching, and we sell them some kind of high ticket, which might be not really for you, but a done for you, a done with you, a really small mastermind, something like that. You've got your book, you got your courses, you got your regular PT club, and then you got the I'll wake your ass up if you pay me enough money. Um, so, but down here, this is pretty much where you're going to sell with email, social media, ads, doing podcasts, Facebook lives, the deal. That's how you sell books. You get out there, people like what you have to say, they like you, they buy your book, then they get into your ecosystem. This other stuff, as far as selling it, I have found still, despite what people say, because there's always the death of everything. And it's funny how things just run in this giant washing machine circle. Okay, but everybody says webinars are dead,
Mm.
except for the people making money with webinars. So we'll say, webinars, events, challenges, we're gonna run that all the same. Okay. I mean, we'll just lump all those into the same thing. It's an event, it's a date, there's a promise, people show up, you make a presentation, you pitch something on the back end for those that want more, and they end up buying your course, your coaching, or your high ticket. Everybody thinks that the most important part of the webinar is the webinar. And it is not the most important part. It is an important part. But if nobody shows up to see the webinar, you could have the greatest webinar in the world and it doesn't matter. it's kind of like when we talk about sales letters, what's the most important part of a sales letter?
The offer,
No,
the hook.
exactly. Because the hook, well, see, the thing is, if you have an amazing hook that stops everybody in their tracks, you can have an average offer and you're going to convert more
Smart.
than having the world's greatest offer, but having a crap hook or headline so nobody stops to see the offer.
Good point.
So the most important part of your webinar is not the webinar. It's what you're doing to get signups. There's Parker. Signups and show ups. And those are two different things. Because if you can't get people to sign up, then there's nobody to show up. But what happens is it's actually pretty easy to get people to sign up for a webinar. All you have to do is make a big ass promise that they're really interested in. That's it. That's, in fact, the shorter your page for the, now I'm talking about a free webinar. But pretty much a big promise headline, 3 or 4 bullets, and a picture that represents the payoff of the webinar, and a specific call to action, you can get signups. Show ups are where you have to do some hype, because normally these are the numbers that most people see. For every 100 signups you get, between only 15 and 25 people are actually going to show up to the webinar.
Dang.
And of the 15 or 25 people, let's average that to 20. Of that 20, only about 15 are going to make it all the way to the pitch. And if you have an average close rate of 20%, that means you're going to have 3 sales. So for every 100 people you get to sign up, on average, you'll make 3 sales. Now, for some people, they're like, that's amazing. But there's also a lot of competition out there. So instead of trying to get more signups, which is always a good thing, what if you could double the number of show ups? In other words, if you could get 100 people to sign up and you got 40 people to show up, and then whatever the numbers are, showing up, making it to the pitch, you sell 6. Okay. So no more signups, no additional signups, but you doubled your number of sales because you doubled your number of show ups. So where everybody focuses on is this, where what they really should be what they really should be focused on is the show ups. And not just the show ups, but also structuring, that says show ups, whatever. Let me start over. Show ups. But if I can increase the number of show ups, and then I can increase the number of people who actually see the pitch, again, let's say I could, instead of losing 20 or 25% of the people, what if I could keep an extra 20%? Okay, so now double the show ups, 20% more come in. Now I'm making 7 or 8 sales for all those people. So I have increased my profitability by like 250% just by focusing on increasing the show ups and structuring the webinar in such a way that more people stick around till the end. By the way, one way is to promise a freebie at the end. That's the number one way to do it. Hey, I've got a whole checklist that shows you how to do all this stuff, and I'll give it to you at the end. I'll give you the download link at the end. I'll have the QR code at the end.
I like that one.
Okay. And it's only available to people who show up live. And you know when you're hitting a nerve, when people start bitching that the only way they can get it is if they show up live. Because so many
Yeah.
people have been conditioned to go to the replay.
Right.
Hey, is there going to be a replay? I don't know. You know, but you saying that tongue in cheek with, well, you know, long as nothing happens. Dude, I've been doing webinars for 20 some years. Okay. I've only ever not had a replay like twice, and that's because the recording blew up.
Right.
It wasn't because we weren't doing the recording. If you want to make people show up live as well, charge $10 for the recording.
Ooh.
Okay. That's that. Will there be a replay? Yes, but you have to pay $10 for it. That's another way to get people to show up live.
Damn. Good idea.
Okay.
I was thinking of structuring it so the pitch is early.
Well, if you can
Like
do
structure it
everything
in a way to where you can pitch them early versus pitch them later.
some people do that, but the problem with that is that if you pitch them early, you haven't established the value.
True.
The key with the whole thing that we have found, and Susan's here, and I'm going to call her on right now. She wasn't expecting that. She's like, leave me alone. But Susan, what would you say, having done this a bunch and you pay attention to the numbers, at the 60-minute mark, what do you see happening as far as people falling off?
25 to 30%, because they've allotted an hour and that's all you're getting.
Right. So as soon as you go greater than 60 minutes, you are going to lose 20 to 30% of the people that you have on that webinar. Guaranteed. Because there's psychologically something about an hour.
I mean, in college, you had the 50-minute class on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And then 90, and then an 8 class.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, you tried to avoid those because they were the 90-minute classes and you didn't want to be there 90 minutes.
Especially an 8 o'clock 90-minute class on a Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, so you're going to lose 20 to 30%. So what does that tell us we need to do, Stu?
Not go greater than 60 minutes.
Right. Finish the whole damn thing in 60 minutes, which means that ideally, and again, this is just from experience, do we do this every time? No, because Jim's mouth just runs. Okay. But if you were looking for the ideal thing, you're going to present for 40 minutes. You're going to pitch for 10 minutes. You're going to do FAQ/objections for about 5 to 7 minutes. Then you're going to repitch for 2 to 3 minutes, and that's it. Okay. Now, you can, if you're still answering questions, you can go beyond 60 minutes and keep answering questions and repitching. So, hey, if you have a question about the offer, you know, and all the questions about the offer, not how to get the result. You know, they're questions about the offer, they're about the topic, they're about what to do, you know, they're anything but what the easy button of the thing scratches the itch. And we have gone as long as an hour answering questions and repitching. But it's like 5 minutes questions, repitch, 5 minutes questions, repitch. And when I say repitch, I mean going back to that stack slide and hitting every single thing again.
Nice.
Okay. And I'm going to give you one other tip. One other thing that you can do And this is how we absolutely skyrocketed conversions on one of our webinars, of the highest converting webinar we ever had. And that is, you do a live discount and delete it from the replay. So what you do is you say, okay, as you're going through, and you tell everybody up front when you're promoting the webinar, hey, there's going to be an offer for live attendees that will not be repeated for anybody who's not there live. If you're not there live, you're just not going to see it. Yes, there'll be a replay, but you have to be there live to get the checklist, and you have to be there live to get the special offer. Okay.
Nice.
And what we would literally do is have a slide that would show up and it would say, cut from replay. Okay. And then you go to a little aside with people who are there live and say, okay, here's the deal. I like to reward people who are action takers, and I want to reward you for being here live. So here's a coupon code that you can use to buy. That is going, and it was just a straight like 10% more off or something. It was another $50. It was significant. And you will not see this again. It will be cut out of the replay. The coupon code will cease to work 1 hour after the webinar is over. So if you need to talk to your significant other, if you need to move money around in your credit card, you need to go contemplate it while sitting on the toilet, whatever the myriad, you need to check out of the emergency room, whatever you're doing right now that would cause you to have to wait, I'm going to give you an hour, and then it stops working. And when we did all of those things together, because see, they had to stick around and finish the pitch because they wanted the checklist. They had a reason to act right freaking now because it was an extra $50 off. Our conversion rate minimum on that webinar was 40% and was as high as 50% of live attendees would take the offer. And the funny thing is, huge amounts of those people that came to the webinar, for whatever reason, came to the webinar over and over and over again, even though they'd already bought. So the conversion rate of non-buyer people was actually higher because we were counting people that had already bought as far as in our numbers. So they were messing up our numbers.
Huh.
And so what matters most in the pre-webinar hype is planning out how you're going to do this thing to get people to sign up, which is basically a huge promise, 4 bullets and a call to action. Then you also want to remind them why they signed up in the first place and send out reminders to people who've already signed up as to why they need to show up. Then once they're there, and you can do that with a video, you can do like a hype video, hey, I've got 3 things I need to share with you before the webinar. If you want to make sure you get this amazing result, there's 3 things you really need to know. I made this special video for you. You need to go check it out right now. You know, you got to hype it up. And then, hey, one of the things I'm going to be giving you on the webinar, I'm going to give you my own personal checklist that has links to the people on Fiverr that I use to do this stuff. You know, all these specific things that they're going to want, but the only way you can get it is if you show up live. Sorry, yes, there will be a replay, but you can't get the checklist and show up live. Change your appointment, change your time, change your thing, but, you know, be there live. And then once they're there, you present whatever you're going to present, but saying, hey, and I've got the checklist. You just need to stick around till the end. All right. And we'll talk maybe in the next webinar, next week, we're doing our masterclass on how to create a great sales webinar in 60 minutes or less. And I'm actually going to be releasing some new stuff, something I've never released before that I've been using for over a year. That's been like my own super secret weapon. Anything else, Susan, that you can think of that we, as far as pre-webinar hype or getting people to stick around and see the pitch and everything that we've done that really stands out?
I mean, we did when we used to do the Webinar King, we did the $20 replay. If you wanted the replay, you had to pay $20.
Yeah. Why'd we stop that?
I don't know why we stopped doing the other thing you were just talking about.
Do you want the honest reason why?
Yeah. Why not?
Because it takes work to think it all the way through, and my ass is flying by the seat of my pants most of the time. And I can survive on my good looks and volume as opposed to actually having to sit down and think and maybe slow down 10 miles an hour.
Once we got that in place, we replicated it several different times with different people that only required us to change out one link.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to update maybe a coupon code.
Yeah. 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 We need to, I think one of the reasons why we stopped was because we were using the coupon code, we noticed that we were actually having in other stuff, we were having a decrease in conversion with that because people stopped checking out and started looking for a coupon code from somewhere. That was one of the things that happened. I'm just saying, but it's not an excuse. It just is what it is. You get busy doing stuff.
I mean, it's why people stop at yard sales. Oh, look, a deal.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, this is good. This is always good to pull this stuff back out and remind yourself of different things because, I mean, there's absolutely no reason why we couldn't charge for the replays of the stuff that we're doing. I mean, they're worth it.
Yeah, especially if it's actionable content.
Oh, yeah.
That people are learning like, holy crap, I never thought of that.
Right.
That's worth $10.
Sure. And $10 ain't worth much anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's the big thing, that it's not just about getting signups. Everybody's thinking about the signups. Screw the signups. You can get signups if you're not getting signups with a big promise and 3 or 4 bullets and a cool picture, you suck. And you need to go back. You're either not focusing on the right audience or you don't have the right promise. Okay, that's the truth. If you're not getting those the sign up is the easy part because you're getting somebody to do a knee-jerk reaction. But then the real game is, how do we get them to actually show up and then stick around? Do you disagree, Susan, on the sign up thing?
Yeah, because of the fact that you've got all this noise now. It's not the same as what it once was.
I understand.
It is a different. I mean, you're competing with all this other noise that's coming in through their filter, and they're filtering out whether or not you're worth their time.
Sure. And so you've got to have
the promise and the stack, or the promise and the hook, come in very importantly in that regard.
That's all you have. And so if your hook ain't no good and nobody's signing up, you suck. So you need to go unsuck.
What? It's not that you suck. You just need to step back and realign the hook and try something else. If nothing's working, try another experiment. What have you got to lose? Nobody's signing up on that anyway.
Okay, so what the real problem here is that you're having an issue with me making a personal attack on these people rather than just saying you need to analyze that perhaps my hook is not performing as well. I should come up with something different and see it not as failure, but as feedback from the marketplace.
Yes, that's far more descriptive than you suck.
Huh. She is not wrong,
That
Jim.
actually gives you an action plan to follow.
All right, well, here's how you don't suck. First of all, you need to come up with a new plan and try something else. So I think, it's interesting how we got to learn these lessons over and over again, though, because you may know the exact numbers, but having all kidding around the side, when it comes to this stuff, you're 100% right. There's so much noise out there in the world that even when you're putting out your best or what you think is your best effort, sometimes stuff doesn't work out, and stuff works out less often than it does work out, actually. And so you've got to adopt a very resilient mindset of, okay, this didn't work. That doesn't mean that I suck. It doesn't mean that this is a scam. It doesn't mean that I have to go get a job at Hardee's, work in the window wearing a hairnet. What I need to do is take a step back, analyze what's the hook, what's my promise, what are the bullets, it's just go straight back to the fundamentals. I failed my PT test. That means I need to go start doing more. I need to practice pull-ups. I need to practice push-ups. I need to look at my pacing, my timing, all that good stuff. Not too long ago, in fact, within the last couple of weeks, we made an offer where we came out of the gate and we were goose egging that thing hard, hard, hard. And Susan's like, wow, this feels like 5 steps to getting anything you want all over again. And we had a discussion for a good 90 minutes about what to do, what to try. I went through that whole emotional roller coaster of people suck and they're dumb and they just don't understand. And then I made it all the way back around to, hey, well, here's what people really want. And this is what we're telling them. And that ain't what they want. So let's try this. And we made a change and we started making sales at like $2,000 a pop. And we ended up doing better than I had originally anticipated we would do for the whole thing.
Nice.
And so I mean, what does that speak to you, Stu, Susan?
Yeah, I mean that's the way you do it. You're going to learn.
Right.
You're going to learn the more you practice. It's all about action, Jim. I think people try to get motivated and have the most perfect pitch and hook story offer, and they just spin their wheels before they actually get eyeballs on it, and just wasting time. I can't tell you how many things that I have done, and I was like, damn, I should have done this 5 years ago.
Right.
But I, finally took action on it, and, it was one of those back burner ideas, that I could have gotten done 5 years ago, left 5 years of money on the table.
Right. But on those things, you don't know, sometimes something new happens.
Oh, sure.
That it couldn't have done it 5 years ago. I mean, look at all the stuff we're doing now that there's it was impossible 5 years ago.
Very true.
But true. I think the biggest thing is everybody focuses on the signups when it comes to a webinar. And yes, that's important. But getting signups is actually, I'm going to restate what I said before. Getting signups is actually really simple once you have dialed in the promise and you've dialed in 3 or 4 bullets that people go, damn, I want that. And let me click the button because I really want that result. And that's why they hit the button and sign up, because they want the result. But then between when they sign up and when you do the webinar, a lot of stuff happens. Life will get in the way. They'll forget about it. That, something happens. They have another appointment they forgot about. And so then our job, once they've signed up, is to keep reminding them about that payoff and why they want it, and try and get them to show up. And then once they show up, our goal is to keep them there all the way through the pitch and to give them a reason to buy now. Because everybody also who knows about webinars will tell you, oh, well, over half the sales come from the replay. Well, part of the reason why half the sales come from the replay is because 2/3 to 3/4 of the people that you got to sign up for that webinar never showed up. So now you're fighting the battle of the replay.
Well, plus if you have the urgency of the fact that, hey, in X amount of hours, this is going away, that too factors into some of that, because they're like, oh, that's going away.
Yeah, there you go.
Because a lot of the sales that we see on the back side of a replay come near the end of that. And oftentimes we get messages in the help desk saying, hey, I missed it for this reason or that reason. Can I get an extension? And sometimes we're able to, sometimes we're not.
Right. But you're absolutely right. And that's, again, what's driving that? Fear of missing out. Fear, the only thing, if somebody can have anything, if somebody can have something anytime they want it, they're not going to sign up because they can have it anytime they want it. So you have to give them a legitimate reason to sign up now, to buy now. And then and Susan just sent me a couple of stats, which I won't necessarily share the exact, the numbers, because as soon as you give people numbers, they're like, that sucks, or that's amazing, or that's, whatever. But even after you figure out the promise that works, don't stop testing to see if you can make a promise that works better. Because the thing that I just said, the offer that we made that was $2,000, we made a change and we started making sales. We made another change and we more than doubled the sales rate of the first change. And that's another mistake that people make, is they're, oh, okay, it's working now, don't break it. Oh, hell no. If I can make it work, I can make it work better.
Okay.
So anyway, that's you're just constantly testing, but test the things that matter the most, which are signups, show ups, and sticking around till the end. Those are the three main things that you want to test on any webinar, no matter how you're structuring it, whether you're doing the 3 secrets or the 5 steps or the podcast style, or, whatever the magical thing is now. It's a game of sign up, show ups, and stick until the end. And then you're testing everything in between to see if you can get more people to buy.
I love it. That's good. I need more things like that, Jim, to be able to like replay in my head, like hook story offer. Boom. That is forever in my brain.
Sure.
Learn from you. And, the sign up, show up, stick around to the pitch. That's another classic.
Yeah. Sign up, show up, stick around to the pitch. Those are the levers that make the difference. Not whether you have, red or blue in your header, or whether you have an amazing background that looks like Vincent van Gogh himself did it, or whether you have three secrets or 4 secrets or whatever. It's, these are the things that you measure. So cool. Well, this was fun, and we appreciate y'all being here live with us. As just shameless self-promotion, next Tuesday we'll be doing a masterclass on how to create a sales webinar in 60 minutes or less, and I'll be revealing a couple of tools, one of which I, honest to God, have been using now for well over a year internally. No one else has ever even seen it except for Susan. And this is the thing that I have used to create all the stuff to promote my masterclasses, including the opt-in page, the promo emails, the cart close emails, the replay emails, the social media posts, the tweets, all that stuff. is all made from this one genie.
Oh,
And I can do in 45 minutes what used to take a half a day of just hardcore effort. And so the ultimate test of whether this works or not is when you see the promo, if you sign up and if you show up, then obviously this tool works.
And you can go sign up at CopyandContent.AI /class.
Oh, nice work. Look at that. Throwing in the.
And if you're a member of CopyandContent.AI, it's a link to it on the calendar, and you'll be emailed the link, and you'll be signed in so you can go use the genies.
Nice work, Susan.
I love it.
I would have screwed that up. See, if I'd talked to you like before these things, I'd say, hey, what's the link I should push? So well
Where's the fun in
done.
that?
There's no fun in that. All right, cool. Well, we hope to see y'all next Tuesday. Have a great day. If you want to get in shape, go to
StuSmithFitness.com.
And if you want to create amazing things with copy and content, go to CopyandContent.AI. Cool. We'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye, everybody.